Good day, everyone. It's another wonderful time on the journey of Hope with Essie. I stumbled into a message on social media, and the pastor was talking about people who often complain about how weak they are in different aspects of their life. They just feel, oh, I'm too weak. Look at this other person. The person is stronger. I'm so weak. I'm so weak. And the pastor said something that was so profound that got me. She said, if there is no weakness in you, what will God be attracted to? Oh, that got to me really. What actually will God be attracted to? Because when you already have strength in different areas of your life, God's glory will not show in that area because you're already strong. You don't need God's help. But when you are weak in certain areas of your life, when you have a weakness that you know that you cannot fix, that is where God actually shows his glory. In other words, your mess makes you attractive to God. I cannot stop saying it over and over again. Beginning of this year, 2023, the Lord told me about this. Your mess makes you attractive to God. So this is just an encouragement for someone out there. You feel you're weak? No, you're not weak. You are just attractive. Your weakness is an aura that is attractive. Let's go into today's message. As you know, we already have a case study, the woman at the well. That lady is the hero of these episodes. So we will read from John chapter 4, verse 15 to 20. I know in the previous episode we ended at 15. For purpose of clarity, we need to go to 15 so we can have a better understanding. 15 says, the woman said to him, Sir, give me this water that I won't get thirsty and have to keep coming back to draw water. 16. He told her, Go call your husband and come back. I have no husband, she replied. Jesus said to her, You are right when you say, I have no husband. The fact is, you have 5 husbands, and the man you have is not your husband. What you have just said is quite true. Sir, the woman said, I can see that you are a prophet. Our ancestors worshipped on this mountain, but you Jews claim that the place where we must worship is in Jerusalem. What an amazing verse. Before we go proper into today's topic, we ended the last episode on the note of surrender. There is a need for you to surrender to Jesus. I am talking to you, you who is weak, you who feel like there is no hope for you in life. There is a need for you to surrender. As we have studied the life of the woman at the well, the woman is a complicated woman who had rules, traditions, and she had her own patterns. She wanted to also school Jesus on how Jesus should solve her problem. But Jesus was busy telling her, I have something you need. And like we said in the previous episode, a lot of us are busy trying to give Jesus reasons why he should not come close to us. But Jesus is saying that I have the solution to that problem. That problem you have, the one you feel that is impossible, Jesus is saying that I have a solution to it. So it is very important for you to surrender. I tell you, the first step to your inner healing is coming to a place of surrender. I remember years back when I was going through a hard time in my life, I heard Jesus clearly saying to me, girl, give it all to me. And I felt like Jesus didn't understand it. I felt like Jesus needs to hear the whole story. The truth is, Jesus already knows the whole story. As a matter of fact, Jesus has always been at the beginning of the story. He said, before I formed thee in your mother's womb, I knew you. So he has always been there from the beginning. And he's been there all this time. You failed to see him because your mind was so clouded by what you were going through. So we go into the episode for today where the woman decided and she said, okay, give me that water that you have. Give me that water you have to offer. And, just like every one of us, the woman thought that Jesus was going to magically bring a bucket from nowhere and give her some sort of special water that is not in the well, and she would drink and she wouldn't have to come to draw. Does that sound familiar? How many times have God told you that I will solve this particular problem for you? Don't worry, Essie. That challenge you're going through is already done and dusted. And I come out of that prayer room with happiness and I'm like, Jesus said he already solved it. And I go out thinking that Jesus was going to solve it in a certain way that I have imagined. But all of a sudden, I'm like, Jesus, you said you were going to bring it. You said you were going to do it for me. And you're wondering, how come Jesus said it and it's not coming in my own timing? It's not coming in the way I imagined it to come. I'll give you a quick example. I need like 10,000 and 10,000 naira. And the Lord is saying that, don't worry, Essie, you will get 10,000 naira. Okay, I go out and I'm happy that I got my answer, and I'm expecting that Jesus will bring the 10,000 naira from somebody I already had, hoping that the 10,000 naira will come from. Probably the person is someone who can afford it. And since Jesus said it, it has to be this particular sister of mine or brother that will bring the money. That is how we expect God to bring the breakthrough. But God does not function like us. He said in his word, he said, my ways are not your ways, my thoughts are not your thoughts. So something strange happened in the message. I tell you, the woman of the well story is full of surprises. The woman finally said, okay, I will want your water. Please give it to me. And what happened? Jesus said, go call your husband. Wait a minute, what? Go call your husband? No. That's way too much if you ask me. Because if it's in our present day, if it is in the present world we live in, if it is in this moment where everybody is conscious of their mental health, it is very okay for me to say that Jesus was crossing boundaries. As a matter of fact, Jesus just hit a spot that was very sensitive. In today's world, we would say that Jesus is crossing emotional boundaries. That is what we would say, that Jesus is crossing the boundaries. And if you ask me, I will say, what is the connection between giving me the water of life and go calling my husband? I just met you. Why would you want to have access to my husband? I've not even trusted you enough. Why should you have access to my husband? Doesn't that sound familiar? How many times is God trying to solve the problem in your emotional life, and God is hitting a spot inside of you that you didn't expect him to hit? But like I said, God does not function the way we function. And thank God for this woman. She was already in a place of surrender, because I tell you, there is power in surrendering to God. So, like I was saying, there is so much power in surrender. And when you say to God, God, this is me. I cannot control the addiction. I cannot help being bitter. I remember when I told God one time that, God, I don't know how to forgive people. I cannot help it. So God, I need you to help me. That is what surrender does. So the process of the woman asking for the water is surrender. And God took over from there. I am sure that the presence of God and the power of God was already taking over her life. So she didn't see offense when God was saying, go call your husband. She was already in a state of surrender. And guess what? She answered the Lord, I have no husband. And the Lord said, you have been with 5 men, and the one you are with is not your husband. I would like to stay for a while on the issue of 5 men. A woman who has been with several men in our today's world is a woman that should not be respected. A woman who has been with 5 men is a woman that is seen as, I don't even know what to say. People practically raise their eyebrow when such women walk past. I am sure that is one of the reasons why that woman had to come at a very quiet time to come and fetch water. Can I say this to you today? In that place where you have been shamed, you have been mocked, you have been looked down on, there is a Jesus Christ, our Savior, waiting for you at that point. I want you to think about it. She had to come fetch from the well when everywhere was calm, because that is a very popular well, I suppose. Jacob's well. It was a very popular well, but she had to come where everywhere was quiet. I am thinking that this woman came when everywhere was quiet because she didn't want to have to deal with those who will mess her up emotionally. But there was someone who understood her, waiting for her at the well. If you go to the episode 1 of Your Mess Makes You Attractive to God, you will realize that Jesus had a plan to go to somewhere. He had to go through the roots of Sychar just because he wanted to meet this woman. I don't know if you get what I'm trying to say, but for that place that you have gone through so much pain that you can't face people anymore because there's so much shame in your life, you just put your head down and you're so ashamed, Jesus is waiting for you at that spot. That place where you have to make sure that you turn your eyes to the left and you turn your eyes to the right so that nobody is watching. And you go quickly, get what you want to get, and leave. That place is where Jesus is waiting for you. So this woman has been with 5 men. You know, I would really like to say this, that in my culture, in an African culture, a man being with many women does not make so much noise as much as a woman being with many men. So you can imagine the state of embarrassment that this woman already found herself. But Jesus saw something in her, something in her that was amazing. Just like Jesus is seeing something in you. I'm talking to you who is taking drugs. I'm talking to you who think that, oh, I sleep with so much men for money, Jesus will have nothing to do with me. I am talking to you who have to constantly be on heroin to survive. I am talking to you who is addicted just because you want to get your mind off the depression. I am talking to you who feel like there is no hope for you. I am talking to you who have been abused sexually, abused emotionally, and you feel like, no, God has a lot to do with my pastor. My pastor is a perfect fit, and God cannot do anything with someone like me. I am talking to you today. Jesus is seeing something in you, just like he saw something in the woman at the well. As we proceed in this channel, you will see why God decided to stop by in his journey just to make sure he meets this woman. The woman at the well is inside of every one of us. Like I said in my last episode, every one of us has an inner woman at the well. Every one of us has that, an inner woman at the well. Because if you study the life of the woman at the well, you will see some attitudes, you will see some things that can be found in us. But I'm telling you today, Jesus loves you. I don't know where you are. I don't know where you've been. But Jesus just wants you to come in, surrender to him, open your heart. He said, behold, I stand at the door of your heart and I'm knocking. Jesus wants you to give him access. And if you notice something in the verse, as she gave Jesus access, Jesus started talking about her life, her pains, her trauma. Probably this woman was looking for love in one of these men, but she kept on being disappointed. She had to go from one man to the other. Are you looking for happiness? Jesus has what you want. Okay, that's all for the episode 4 of Your Mess Makes You Attractive to God. Please, please, please do not forget to subscribe to this channel. We appreciate you, those who have subscribed. We need you to tell your friends, tell your family about the love of God. Tell them that there is a channel that we introduce them to a style of the love of God they've never seen before. I know we live in a world that is so religious where people are constantly judged, but Jesus does not care about your past. He just cares about your heart. Please subscribe to the channel, like the post, comment and share. Please do not forget to follow us on Instagram, The Journey of Hope with Essie. Thank you very much.